Hello, everyone, and welcome to HAB's Tip of the Month. Today, we have a very special guest, Ms. Barbara Provost. Barbara has a wonderful organization that actually joined a few months back. And instead of me kind of butchering the explanation of what the company is all about, Barbara, why don't you take over and just give us a little bit about your organization?
Sure. I'm Barb Provo, founder of Purse Strings. We created Purse Strings so that women have knowledge, skill, tools, resources right at her fingertips to make great financial decisions for herself, her family, and her business. And then when they need to access and work with a financial professional, be it a financial planner or advisor, an attorney, a CPA, whomever, she can go to our directory of vetted financial professionals who are all geared to serve a female market. They're called our Purse Strings Approved Professionals, of which, Michael, you are one of them.
And I'll have to admit, this wasn't a game plan going into it. It was a little bit of a situation where, as I've been in this for about 15 years now, and I kind of look at the clients I serve, and a large percentage of them are actually widowed women. So it's something I'm starting to kind of specialize in. A statistic that I got from your organization was that the average age of a widow is 59 years old, which kind of took me back a little bit.
Mhm.
But without a doubt, it's something that's a little bit unique, a little bit of an approach that's different from my normal kind of financial planning approach. So I wanted to spend a few minutes because I do believe it's a topic that doesn't get its due in terms of proper financial planning and understanding how big of a transition it is for some individuals. So I wanted to spend a few minutes, just ask you a few questions and to go over the scenario. Um, it's a little bit of a, I would say, a taboo subject, but what are some things you could do to kind of prepare to be in a kind of on your own or kind of in a widow situation?
Right. Well, as you know, it's all about preparation. So too often I hear women say where they've given the responsibility of money and investing over to their husbands or their husbands and their financial planner. And the concern there is, first of all the decisions made at that financial table will most likely impact you as the woman versus the men, because statistically men die first. So you don't, if you're not in those conversations, you're not sure what's happening with the investments or the money. And also just knowing the daily operations cash flow of the money in your household, how much money is coming in, how much is going out. So oftentimes women do know that because they're kind of the chief operating officer of the household. But with investments and financial planning, they also need to be in those conversations as well. So they know it should be planned for, right? If somebody were to die, the financial advisor said, that's okay. We planned for this. You're in a good spot. Women want to know if they're going to be okay.
Yeah, and one thing just from kind of personal experience of kind of helping people through this transition, just I don't, something I always kind of feel sad about is when that first meeting after someone has passed away, someone sometimes comes in and feels a little bit of shame, a little bit of embarrassment that they're not more prepared, they're not more having a beat on the financial plan. Most people are going to go blank in that situation regardless. So
Mhm.
just know, something that I incorporated was I kind of like to start from scratch. So, hey, this is kind of played out. Let's go over the financial plan like it was the very first time. So, don't feel overwhelmed. We tend to go in a very slow process, piece by piece, just to make sure we have a complete understanding. Because it could be a scenario at the end of that, we make a hard right turn and decide to do things totally different. A lot of
Mhm.
times, maybe that person that passed away was the financial person, maybe like a lot more risk, maybe like stocks, more bonds, maybe like this style versus that style. So just know it is perfectly fine if we start from scratch and go in a different direction. It's a very fragile state of mind, and just know there's no wrong answer. As
Mhm.
long as you're comfortable, that's kind of the direction we that makes the most sense, obviously. Um, one of the questions I'm always kind of curious about, because there's always great information out there. Is there any kind of resources that you think make the most sense to kind of either prepare or, if it just happened to you, is there anything out there that you think adds value in that situation?
Yeah, I always think it's a good idea for financial professionals, especially, to be kind of a go-to resource when their client is in this situation, finds himself in this situation of having books. There's great books that are out on Amazon you can peruse, or also, just walk to the bookstore and look through ones that might be just very step-by-step helpful. Also podcasts, or even, like I would say, widow groups. So really participating with groups that other women know exactly what you've been through. They've been there. They can help you out. They can be your sounding board. They can be your support system. Because now your life has changed quite dramatically, where you were also always a twosome or part of a couple. Now you are a singleton, and that's a whole different way to navigate life. And there's going to be a lot of change. So if you can find those support groups, that'd be really helpful.
100%. As my brain's rattling of the different things that I trying to find that are useful resources. One of the things that has come up a bunch of times is a scenario where people thinks oh, I have my estate planning, I have my wills and my powers attorneys, but those leave a lot of areas not uncovered. So what I always kind of recommend is, both the husband and the both spouses in the situation put together a little document that just goes over the little stuff. Oh, here's this password. This is where I like to keep this document. It's always a little bit of a pain in the butt trying with the scavenger hunt, trying to find those things. But frankly, the more you just have a conversation, the more you're going to be prepared. That was really what I wanted to accomplish today. It wasn't, you're not going to walk away with the exact right thing to do. As long as that thing you're doing is having a conversation and trying to get prepared, whatever that means to you, that's all I hope that everyone, starts that process. So Barbara, thank you so much for joining to me today. And I hope everyone got some value. Of course, if you have any questions about preparing for that life transition, always feel free to reach out. And thank you so much.
Thank you.